Hello everyone and welcome back to a dead channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the new information about Fnaf's security breach that has been released by Scott Cawthon and Steelwolf Studios over the past month. But before we get into this, I have to say it. I have a new Twitter. I am now at MoltenMonsters. I figured I needed a new one since the channel's name changed, so please go follow me on there. I post really bad art and stuff. Twitter.com/MoltenMonsters or linked in the description. Okay, so back in February, we finally got the long-awaited gameplay trailer for Fnaf Security Breach, and 20 new screenshots revealing more about the game's story. So today we're going to be talking about all that new information and more in today's Fnaf theory video. Okay, roll the trailer.
When I first found you, you were nothing. You were small, pathetic. But now, you are more. Are you ready?
Gregory, we can get you out of here. You and me together. They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you. We have to get you out by morning.
You will do as I say. You will bring me what I want. And if you fail me, then you will, both of you, burn!
There is more going on here than you realize.
Now the trailer begins with a slow zoom into Vanny's mask, and who we can presume to be the purple man William Afton talking to Vanny. He is telling her how she was nothing before he found her. This definitely reinforces the theory that Vanny is either being controlled or mentored by William Afton to become his successor after the events of Fnaf VR. Him saying that Vanny is now more could allude to Vanny becoming a part of the spirit of William Afton's control. Next we finally get to see the 3D models for Vanny, both in her bunny serial killer and security guard forms right off the bat, and I have to say, Vanny in the bunny suit looks absolutely amazing, bathed in that sinister red light. However, I don't really think the same thing can be said for Vanny's security guard form. Like, I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me here, but I really hope that Vanny's security guard model is just a prototype from what will be seen in the final game, because frankly it looks really bad. Now don't get me wrong, it's not a bad character design at all, but the model does not fit in with the environment around it. Like, Vanny's model does not really fit in with the super realistic, ray-traced environments of the game. With that level of realism everywhere else in the game, I'd expect some cyberpunk quality level character models, but instead we get this. She looks cartoony, plasticky, doll-like, and kinda breaks the immersion with the rest of this beautiful game. I know it's super nitpicky, but I don't know, it just kind of annoys me for some reason. Another interesting thing to note is you can actually see masks in the background of the shot that resemble the Sun and Moon characters in the last trailer. This could potentially be a backstage area similar to in Fnaf 1, where the robots go to get repaired, and there's a bunch of masks in the back and other robot parts laying around. Okay, now next is the big reveal. We finally get to see the 4 main robots in this game in the flesh for the first time ever. Or I guess in the metal and plastic. Anyway, all 4 of them are being lowered onto stage, and we can see their red eyes glow in the darkness. Now if you remember in my video in the first trailer, and if you haven't seen that, I will link it in the iCard, it seemed that in the last trailer, the only characters who seemed to be aggressive had glowing red eyes. So what if Vanny hacks the animatronics and turns them aggressive, making their eyes turn red and them going from trying to protect Gregory to attempting to kill him? And it does seem like we will be playing as Gregory in this game, as Vanny and the security guard are most likely the same person, and we know that the animatronics are specifically hunting Gregory. Speaking of Gregory, we also get to see him for the first time in the next scene, looking at a wall of security cameras. Now what's interesting here is he's looking at a bunch of cameras at once. So what I'm wondering is, will this be a new way to monitor multiple areas? Or was this just in the cinematic for the trailer? Another thing that cements this, that we are playing as Gregory in this game, is you can clearly see in this image that Gregory is wearing a watch, and later in the trailer, we can see our character pull up a watch on his wrist and complete various tasks, seeming to act as a portable version from the camera system for the first 3 games. Along with that, we can see metrics for the flashlight power, camera system power, and tickets. The tickets could act like keys allowing you to get into the various locations. There's also an inventory tab, which is super exciting, as I think collecting items and such would make the gameplay of Fnaf so much more interesting. Okay, next scene. We get to see Monty's jungle area, complete with a golf course, arcades, and cafe, along with amusement park rides, with Monty in the center of all of it. Okay, now we get to see Gregory crouching from behind a wall, hiding from the security guard. Again, him hiding from the security guard is even more evidence for her and Vanny being the same person, as Gregory probably wouldn't be afraid of her unless he knew her true identity. Her true identity is Vanny the Bunny. In the next shot, we finally get to see that this game is confirmed to be free roam, with shots of Gregory going through an underground cave-like area, and as long-time viewers of this channel will know, I have been wanting free roam in FNAF for like 5 years now. I am so happy we are finally getting it. Okay, next we can see a montage of the animatronics chasing us. And the interesting thing here is these animatronics seem to be specifically designed for hunting and catching children, similar to the sister location animatronics, being much faster than the clunky robotic movements of the other animatronics we've seen, and able to crash through fences and barriers with enormous strength. And as this game probably takes place much sooner in the timeline than most people thought, these robots were probably also designed by William Afton himself. Okay, so in the next shots, we see Gregory hiding in a children's play area. You know, like the ones that you find at McDonald's that always smelled like feet for some reason. And here we see both the Sun and Moon characters. I think it's pretty safe to say that this kiddie play area will be their area of the game. There's also a scene with Roxanne's racing track, Freddy's laser tag area, and Monty's jungle cafe. It seems that each animatronic will have their own area with a challenge you have to get through to avoid the robot, like the golf course, racetrack, or play area. Also, just gotta say, Roxanne's got some pretty nice sunglasses though. Okay, we finally get a shot of Vanny peeking her head around a door, reading staff only, looking as creepy as ever. I think the staff only is a further hint to Vanny and security guard being the same person. She is in there because she is part of the staff. She is the security guard. We also get the shot of the super withered hand clawing the floor. Now this is obviously a new character that we've never seen before. However, it does look very familiar. If you remember back to FNAF 4, the Nightmare animatronics had very similar looking fingers, and the arm looks very similar to the Nightmare animatronics' bodies. Now I'm not saying that this is a Nightmare animatronic or even that the Nightmare animatronics were ever real, because they're not. But the Crying Child's nightmares had to come from somewhere. So what if the Crying Child was taken here once, and that thing later went on to become one of the many inspirations behind the nightmares of FNAF 4? Alright, now let's talk about the voices heard throughout the trailer. First we hear Vanny and her security guard persona talking about getting Gregory out of the place by morning and that she can help him escape. This is presumably in one of the final nights of the game, where Gregory is trying to get out. Next we hear a deep, angry voice saying, "You will bring me what I want, or both of you will burn." Now first let's establish who's talking. It's obviously not Freddy. He was in the last trailer and his voice sounds very different. And it's probably not Williams, as that was most likely who we heard at the beginning. And I kinda doubt that this deep, manly voice is coming from Chica, so then it's gotta be our boy Monty the Gator. He seems to be talking to Vanny here, probably when she's out of her Killer Bunny persona. The second person being referred to here is probably Gregory, Monty insinuating that if Vanny doesn't catch Gregory, he won't be the only one in trouble. Alright, let's finally talk about the new screenshots. During a live stream by Mr. FNAF Man Daco, Scott Cawthon starts sending Daco screenshots from the game. First you get all these paper cutouts of the animatronics in the laser tag area, just looking so harmless and adorable. Too bad they're all bloodthirsty killers programmed to abduct children in real life. Next we have another image of El Chip's Fiesta Buffet, but the only thing that really sticks out here is a robot designed for cleaning the floors, again reinforcing the idea that these robots have gotten sophisticated enough to perform simple tasks, and have worked their way into everyday life. This one also finally reveals the name of the moon character as Moondrop. Next we get a look at some of the amusement park rides in the mall. This one specifically being called Monty's Gator Golf. Now we get a scene from Monty's view looking off stage, and what's very interesting here is the perspective. It's inside Monty's mouth. Now we know that Gregory has used Freddy to hide inside, so what if he's hiding inside Monty here before he gets controlled by Vanny? Next we get to see a place called the Glamrock Beauty Salon. And what's interesting about this one is how it highlights just the sheer vastness of the location. Like, this isn't just an outlet store in a mall, it's a store sitting inside a whole other area in this location. Like, this place must be absolutely huge. Okay, and the last two images are probably the most interesting. The first one here shows an enormous dining room, presumably the dining room in the main Freddy's Pizza in the mall. Now what's interesting here is that Bonnie the Bunny is shown as the mascot of this bowling alley here, and we haven't seen Bonnie anywhere else in the game, so we could end up seeing Bonnie here after all. If we do, it would be a really nice surprise, and it would be pretty cool that the teasers and trailers haven't spoiled every character and location in this game. Even if it's not, it's still a cool Easter egg nonetheless. Okay, so finally we have this screenshot of Chica smashed apart and destroyed. So what if each night is centered around a certain animatronics area, and completing tasks in that area, similar to Sister Location, progresses you through the night. And at the end of every night, there is a boss fight with that animatronic, where Gregory goes head to head with it and finds a way to destroy it. Like, it lines up perfectly too. 4 animatronics plus the sun and moon, and the Nightmare guy adds up to 6 stages, 6 areas, and 6 nights. Which is the amount of nights in every single Fnaf game, contrary to its name. So I think that's pretty much all the Fnaf news for now. Yeah, Fnaf Security Breach, I honestly think, despite a few problems, looks really good, and definitely has the potential to be one of the best Fnaf games ever. So, you know, if you like this video, then please just subscribe. It's, like, not even that hard. I don't understand, like, why you won't do it. Like, you just click a button. Like, what's so difficult about clicking a button? Alright, anyway, I have no idea how to end this video. Just roll the outro.